You can unlock a unique cutscene in Snake Eater when you're wearing the croc cap. Now, a lot of people have probably missed this, but if you wear the croc cap while fighting the end, you'll trigger a unique interaction. To get it, put the croc cap on and crawl down the river. When you crawl down the river for a few seconds, here is what happens.
There, just a croc.
We see the end confuse Snake for an actual crocodile and neglect to shoot him. Interestingly, the same thing happens regardless of what you wear with the croc cap.
There, a crocodile.
What this also reveals is the end's location, so you can use this cutscene to find out where the end is hiding. Yeah, you better run. More interesting details and Easter eggs about Snake Eater coming up, but if you're enjoying this video, do subscribe to the channel by hitting that button and let's crack on. Did you know this about the Rykov disguise? Now, you probably are already aware you can use it to bypass guards and go up and salute them, and they will be none the wiser. However, this does not work on dogs. They can see right through your disguise and are the only NPCs who can. That's because they can smell Snake underneath the disguise. So if you wear the Rykov uniform around dogs, you're in for a bad time. There is a fascinating story behind the Gakao uniform. Now, this was also in Snake Eater 3D, but it wasn't called Gakao, it was called the Fruit Camouflage. The reason for that is because it was inspired by Yoshi, and of course Yoshi eats fruit. Yoshi appears in the game in place of kerotans, which are these green collectibles. But in Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, the fruit uniform turns into Gakao. I think this is definitely an improvement, but there's one thing from the 3DS version missing in the remake, and that's the ability to use any photo you want for the camouflage. Here we see a keyboard being used for the camouflage, and this one is the Gears of War logo. Wearing the Gakao uniform and calling Sigint reveals this conversation where he judges your life choices.
Snake, what is that stuff you're wearing?
I don't know. It's called Gakko camo, whatever that means.
What?
Paramedic?
You've never heard of Gakko?
Nope.
Never.
You must live in a cave or something.
Well, excuse me. By the way, Snake, that outfit is really killing your camo index. Unless you want the enemy to see you, I suggest you change your clothes as...
Why?
Why? Because his camo index is...
Camo index, schmamo index.
Hold on now.
He's wearing the Gakko suit.
Why?
Because it looks cute.
Snake, talk some sense into her.
What's wrong with being cute?
Am I the only normal person around here?
NPCs have a unique reaction when you're wearing the Oyama face paint. So if they see you in the weapons wing with this face paint on, this is what they say.
Why are you wearing face paint?
This reaction only happens when you wear the face paint in combination with the scientist outfit. So if you wear the face paint with, say, this outfit, for instance, here's what they say.
Who's that?
This is because from the back, Snake looks like a regular scientist, but when he turns around, he looks like a weirdo. When you call Sigint while wearing the Oyama face paint, this is his reaction.
Snake, what's with that face paint?
It's called Oyama.
Oyama?
Yeah, it's the name of an androgynous Japanese deity.
Are you serious?
That's what I heard.
From who?
Paramedic.
Never mind.
Did you know the animal's camo was one of 4 camos in the game designed by fans? The other 3 designs are the banana camo, the fly camo, and the mummy camo. These are the 4 designs that won the contest that ran from May 2004 to July 2004. In this contest, fans from all over the world sent in their own designs to the official MGS website. The developers then picked their own winners from over 5,000 applications, and these are the 4 that won. A little known fact about the animal's camouflage is actually the best camouflage you can wear in the mountains. It offers a huge 90% camouflage rating, which is the best in the game. It also completely removes weapon sway when you're aiming down sight, so you can use it to look through your scope and not sway even a little bit. These were not the only extras in Snake Eater's camouflage designs. 3 months after the game came out, 20 more camouflage designs came down the pipe as DLC. Starting June 1st, 2005, you could download the likes of the Festival Camouflage, Flower Camouflage, Barracuda, Chameleon, a bunch more, and loads of these make it into Snake Eater Delta. This DLC was only available on the PS2 for 4 years. In 2005, if you tried to download this DLC, you would see this message from the developers. It says, "We regret to inform you that the camouflage downloads for Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater will end on the 3rd of the 31st, 2008. We would like to ask you for your kind understanding and at the same time thank you for the continued use of this feature over a long period." Now, one thing all of these outfits have in common is that there is no specific SIGINT conversation when you wear these outfits. That's because, of course, they came after the game was released, and it would have been too much work to patch in a specific conversation over the radio when you're wearing these outfits. This is the Do 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 uniform, and you're probably wondering why it's called Do Do Do. This is because these symbols are what's known as Do in Japan. It's a phonetic symbol used in the Japanese writing system, and it's called katakana. And this is used for emphasizing words similar to italics in English. So that is why it's called Do Do Do. You are looking at the most effective camouflage in all of Snake Eater. It doesn't look like much, but trust me, it is. This is Moss, and you get it by defeating the End non-lethally. And here's why it's so good. When you pair it with the Woodland face paint, you get a 100% camouflage rating. Only if, though, you wear it in the exact right condition. And those conditions are very specific. So if you wear it while going prone in this grass, you only get 80. However, if you go to this ground just up the road, you get 100. Yes, I am completely invisible. Don't mind me. But there's an extra incredible detail about this one outfit. That is that it recovers your stamina while you're prone on the ground. You can see this bar going up, that's your stamina, and that's a result of photosynthesis. Yes, this uniform uses the sun's rays to give you back your stamina, just like a plant uses sunlight to grow. There's actually an urban myth about this outfit that when you get your torch out, that stamina bar goes up even quicker. So I decided to try it out, whipped out my torch to see if the bar goes up faster. And what do you think? Do you think that's going up faster, or is that about the same rate? For me, it looks about the same rate, so I'm going to mark this down as a busted myth. But hey, it wouldn't surprise me if a mechanic like this was in Snake Eater, because this game is full of them. And just more thoughts on this outfit. I just love how it's modeled after the End's outfit, even down to the muddy section on the front, showing how the End likes to go prone on his stomach. When you call SIGINT while wearing the uniform, he has a few interesting observations to make.
Snake, what's that you're wearing?
It's moss camouflage. I got it from the End.
Interesting. It seems to have part of the End's power sealed within it. If you wear it in a place where the sun shines, you'll automatically recover stamina. It'll also give you a high rate of camouflage in Civiato Gorni and Socrovieno, the End's home territory.
You are looking at one of the most underrated camos in the whole of Snake Eater. This is the Spider camo, and it gives you a ludicrously high 80% camouflage rating regardless of your environment. So, as you can see, I'm in the weapons lab and I've still got an 80% rating. There is one catch though, this rating only lasts as long as your stamina. So, in other words, if you get hungry, the stealth rating plummets and people will then be able to see you. So here my stealth rating dropped to about 45%, which is not good, and guards could see me from across the room. So there's only one thing to do then, which is chomp down on some instant noodles. Refilling my stamina puts my camouflage rating back up to 80%, and I am now free to cavort around the lab virtually invisible. In order to get the Spider camo, defeat the fear non-lethally. When you do, make sure to put it on and call SIGINT for this interesting conversation.
Hey Snake, what's that you're wearing?
It's spider camouflage. It used to belong to the Fear.
Is that right? Well, it's not as good as the stuff the Fear was wearing, but it still seems to have a pretty decent amount of stealth capability. From the looks of it, the wearer uses stamina to power the stealth function. With this thing on, your camo index will stay at a high level no matter where you go. But if you run out of stamina, the stealth function will stop working. Keep that in mind.
Okay, here's a fun Easter egg about the Anubis uniform in Snake Eater. Now, it's called Anubis as a reference to Zone of the Enders. Zone of the Enders, or Zoe, was released for the PS2 in March 2001, and it was created by Hideo Kojima. Kojima, of course, being the man behind Metal Gear Solid. And here's something else you might not know about the Anubis uniform. Now, you would probably think that due to its orange color scheme, it would perform best in the mountain section of Snake Eater. There's really no other terrain where this would work. However, if you look down at the bottom of the screen, you will only see a 75% camouflage rating max. This is the best you're gonna get. This means it's not as good as another uniform in this game, which is the Animals uniform. Wearing this in the mountains gives you a 90% camo rating, which is kind of surprising since the Anubis uniform was made for the desert and the Animals uniform was made for animals. There's an interesting gameplay system that unlocks when you wear the Cold War uniform. And you can wear the face paint as well, but this also happens and applies when you wear the uniform. And that is when guards refuse to engage with you. They will just refuse to shoot you because you have the flag of the Soviet Union emblazoned across your chest. These are very patriotic enemies. When they spot you, they will of course raise the alarm and call back to HQ, but they will still just refuse to be violent with you and enter into a combat scenario. You can go right up to them and they will still back off while getting increasingly frustrated, which is quite funny to see. There is one thing you definitely want to avoid doing though, and that is turning your back on them. When you turn your back on them, they will start shooting you, and that's because on the back of your uniform is the stars and stripes, or in other words, the American flag. So we have the blue and the white stars of the American flag, and enemies have no qualms about shooting through this. So when you're wearing the Soviet Union uniform, always approach enemies from the front, and when you do this, you basically have your own free reign to do whatever you want. You can get right up close, use your CQC, or just back away slowly and hide in the bushes. Calling SIGINT while wearing the Cold War uniform results in this memorable response.
Snake, what kind of camo is that?
It's called Cold War. Volgan had it with him.
Cold War camo, huh? Well, I suppose the Soviets won't attack you from behind when you've got that thing on.
Really? You mean it's got advantages other than being stylish?
Stylish?
Yeah. Don't you think so?
Sure. Whatever you say.
Loads of people don't know this about the snow uniform. I mentioned this in another video, but this is all about uniform, so I'm going to cover this here as well. If you put on the snow uniform and the snow face paint while standing in a swarm of hornets, they'll actually refuse to sting you. So you can put on this outfit to make hornets go away. This is, I think, because the outfit resembles a beekeeper uniform and apparently bees don't like the color white or something. I guess sort of like how bulls don't like the color red. Not really sure why it works like this, but I did read on the wiki that this was inspired by a holiday that Kojima had where he went to a honey shop and he saw that beekeepers wore white to ward off bees. So I guess that's what's happening here, but also someone could have just made that up. Interestingly though, if you cover yourself in mud while wearing the uniform, the hornets still won't attack. Loyal to the end. And speaking of hornets, there is of course the Hornet stripe uniform. Now you get this by defeating the Pain non-lethally. And when you wear it, hornets also refuse to sting you. But not only that, but they actually become your allies. When you shoot down a hornet's nest while wearing the hornet striped camo, they will swarm around you and you can use them to direct their swarms to other enemies. When you walk by an enemy while you're carrying a hornet swarm, they will then swarm over to the enemy and sting them. So the key differentiator here is that with the white outfit, the snow camo outfit, the swarm will just disappear. Whereas with the Hornet Stripe uniform, they will become a weapon. And as with most uniforms and camo designs in this game, remember to call SIGINT while wearing for a specific conversation about it.
Snake, what's that camouflage?
It's called Hornet Stripe. I got it from the pain.
No kidding. Sounds like a pretty unique design. From the looks of it, it's somehow infused with the power of hornets.
The power of hornets?
Sure. When you're wearing that outfit, hornets won't attack you. Neither will spiders or leeches. You might even be able to tame the ones that come flying out of a hive.
This is the Choco Chip uniform, and I don't know about you, but whenever I see this in my menu, I always get a little bit peckish. But there's an interesting origin for its name. So the Choco Chip is designed to provide concealment in the desert, and it's effective in desert and mountain environments. But why is it not called the Desert Uniform, especially when we have names like Leaf Uniform, Tree Bark, Raindrop Water? Why is it called Choco Chip? It doesn't particularly look like a chocolate chip cookie. Well, you get your answer if you call SIGINT while wearing the Choco Chip uniform. He'll actually name this uniform on the spot.
Ah, you're wearing the chocolate chip pattern.
Chocolate chip? You mean this camouflage?
Yeah.
I've never heard of a camo pattern called that before.
Yeah, I know. I just thought it up right now. The chocolate chip pattern is probably designed to provide cover in a desert environment. It should work best against a sandy or rocky background.
Makes sense, but why'd you call it chocolate chip?
'Cause that's what it reminds me of.
What?
Those little round cookies that Major's always snacking on?
They're not cookies, they're scones.
Major!
And it's not a snack, it's afternoon tea.
Snack, tea, same thing?
No, it's not. Look here, afternoon tea is a fine old English tradition.
Uh-oh, here we go again. Talk to you later, Snake.
The origins of afternoon tea go back to the Victorian era. Anna Maria, the 7th Duchess of Bedford, was...
So in other words, who came up with a name for this uniform? It was SIGINT. This is the banana uniform, and according to the description, it makes any food taste great. However, does this really work in practice? Well, let's try it on a vampire bat. Here's what Snake says when you eat a raw, alive vampire bat.
What is this?
Okay, doesn't seem to like that, regardless of the effects of the uniform. So let's try it again on a tree frog, again alive and raw.
What is this?
Snake also doesn't seem to think the tree frog tastes good either, so the banana uniform seems to not live up to its description. It's unlocked straight away in Delta, but in another game you can get this by lying. In Snake Eater 3D on the 3DS, you can unlock the banana camo by choosing I like Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker on the main menu when starting a new game. Now of course that doesn't necessarily have to be a lie. Hey, maybe you just like Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, but if you don't, you can lie about it and unlock the banana camo. You can unlock a unique conversation with Snake's toughest enemy while wearing the tuxedo. This only works though during the prologue. So if you wear the tuxedo during the prologue, or in other words, the virtuous mission, then call the boss. Here is what the boss says. And let's just say she's not too happy about Snake wearing a tuxedo during a mission.
Snake,
What's up, boss?
don't you what's up me. Just what do you think you're doing?
What do you mean?
What do I mean? What is that camouflage you're wearing?
Oh, this. What do you think?
Of all the...
Looks pretty good on me, doesn't it?
Are you out of your mind? You can't wear that in battle. It's like saying to the enemy, hey, here I am, shoot me.
Well, I'll admit it is a little on the flashy side.
Then why don't you...
But it does look good on me, doesn't it? You don't think so?
Listen, wise ass, camouflage isn't gonna do jack if it doesn't help you blend in with your surroundings.
Well, I think it looks good on me.
Fine, wear whatever you want.
Thought you'd like it.
This makes the tuxedo one of the only uniforms in the game that unlocks a unique conversation when you wear it twice. So if you wear the tuxedo after the virtuous mission in the main game, then you call SIGINT, he has his own reaction to you wearing a tuxedo.
Snake, what are you wearing now?
Tuxedo?
What, you late for a wedding or something? Come to think about it, the tuxedo is an all-black outfit. It'll probably help you blend in a dark environment. One thing you can't do, though, is equip knife-type weapons. And you can't use CQC either. Remember that.
Of course, there's another tuxedo in the game. This is the white tuxedo. Now, there's not a unique SIGINT conversation while wearing the white tuxedo. However, there is a unique mechanic not shared by any other uniform or face paint in the game. When wearing the white tuxedo, your footsteps are silenced and your recovery rate is doubled, but only if you manage to keep it clean. And there are so many ways to get this thing dirty. This actually has compartmentalized dirt buildup, which means that if you get an explosion from the back, for instance, only the back of the outfit will be dirty, leaving the front unmarked. If you face towards the explosion though, the tuxedo will then be charred and smoldering on the front. Depending on where you take damage, the tuxedo accurately reflects the direction. Sometimes though, you just want to avoid choosing an outfit altogether and go naked. Well, of course, there is a unique dialogue exchange when you wear the naked uniform. And did you know if you wear the naked uniform while calling the boss during the Virtuous mission, she has something interesting to say.
Snake, did you take off your uniform?
Yeah,
What's the matter?
just needed to loosen up.
I know there's a naked option under uniform in the camouflage window that lets you take off your uniform. But without a uniform on, your camo index will remain low, and you'll burn through your stamina more quickly. So stop acting like a fool and put some camouflage on now. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
It's okay, Snake. I feel your disappointment. Like with the tuxedo, when you call SIGINT while naked, he also has his own things to say about this uniform choice, or lack thereof.
Snake, what's up? Why are you naked? I know there's a naked option under uniform that lets you take off the upper part of your uniform. But without a shirt on, your camouflage sucks, and your stamina goes down faster. You don't get any advantages whatsoever.
Sure there are.
Like what?
It feels good.
Man, you do whatever you want.
I will, thanks. Just one question, though.
What?
Is there a way to take off my pants?
Say what?
My pants, can I?
Oh, hell no! This Fox unit is a nutfest!
Did you know the fly uniform can be used to stop enemies attacking you? That's because the fly uniform smells so bad, it makes enemies stop in their tracks. And on closer inspection, you can see that this uniform was indeed well named because it does have flies on it. Not only that though, but it has flies buzzing around it. You can hear them when you go in third person view, but you can actually see them when you go in first person view. Look at all those flies buzzing around Snake. It can get quite annoying to have a constant cloud of buzzing flies following you, but you could argue this is actually worth it because it can completely shut down enemies. When you wear the fly uniform and go up to them, they lose the ability to melee you. Any enemy in melee range will be overpowered by your sheer disgusting smell and stop mid-animation when they try to melee you. However, they will also just shoot you from afar, so do be prepared for that. So those were a few interesting details about the uniforms in Metal Gear Solid Delta's Snake Eater. If you enjoyed the video, do subscribe to the channel and I'll see you in the next video.